welcome back to my channel. This week's video is going to be a reading vlog, and I've had an idea of how I can really beat this book slump. No books are getting my attention, I'm reading them and I'm not feeling anything. So for this week's video I'm going to try go back into the worlds of some of my favourite series. I don't know whether that makes sense, but like for example last night I already started one of the books I'm going to read this week, which was Magnolia Parks, and I'd been saving this last book thinking I'll reread the whole series, but I just don't think that's going to be possible. So I jumped back into this one and already I'm on page 160. I think this will be a really good technique to get out of my reading slump, because it's not rereading books I love, which whilst I love them it can get quite boring because you know what happens. It's new content but with characters I already know, with writing I already like, so I feel like this could really help getting out of this book slump. So as I said, I've already started this one. I'm 160 pages in, already loving it again, which I knew I would, but I feel like that's why I was saving it. However, I must say, and it might be an unpopular opinion, but I prefer Daisy Hates to Magnolia Parks, and this has reminded me of that. But anyway, it is working though, because I'm speeding through this and I'm actually feeling things for these characters, which is what I've been missing from some of the books I've picked up recently. Plus I think it's not as whimsical and you don't have to use as much brain power as if I was reading a fantasy book, because I feel like that's a lot of world building, a lot of stuff I'm not familiar with. This is set in London, down the road. I know exactly what's going on, so I think this is a great choice. So I'm going to continue reading this one. I'm pretty free this weekend, so I'm hoping I can get quite a lot of this done, because I was updating my Fable last night and didn't realise this book is over 700 pages. I mean obviously it's huge, but I just hadn't thought about that. So I will let you know when I have a bit of an update with this one. We're kind of just getting back into the swing of things. I think if you've read Magnolia Parks you kind of know it kind of goes round in circles with different topics, and that's what's happening in this one. And I think I don't want to spoil the first two books in the Magnolia Park books of the series by saying anything that happens in this one or anything that's discussed in this one, but I'll let you know if I have any kind of update. I guess the only thing I've got to say from starting this is that I just love Daisy Hates so much more. Those books are just incredible, whereas these, like, I think I rated Long Way Home 5 stars. I think I rated The Long Way Home 5 stars, but I know the first Magnolia Parks didn't get 5 stars, but the two Daisy Hates books I fully loved. I think this is the way forward, is going back into the worlds I'm familiar with, and that should make it easy. I really want to beat this book slump. I'm getting sick of it. I think I need to start making reading a ritual again, rather than something that feels like a chore or something I just keep telling myself I have to do. Like, I just want to be fully absorbed in these books so that it's easy to make my content, and that is how I was in like 2023. So we're gonna go back. We're getting back into it. I'll let you know whatever my next thoughts are when I continue reading a little bit more. Hello everybody, mind my appearance, the lighting. I just came back from a dance class and it was with this group. Of people in my area that just want to try new things, and it was really out of my comfort zone, but I actually really enjoyed it and I'm so proud of myself for going. But I just wanted to come on here to give a little reading update on Miss Maggie Parks. Now I don't know why I feel bad saying this, because I think maybe it's because it's so loved by everybody that I'm like, oh sorry, I DNF'd. I got to page 280, so I think you can kind of see that. I think it's fair to say I gave it a good go, but it got to the point where I was dreading reading that book because I just thought, I don't care. Now don't get me wrong, that is not dismissing any of the themes or the main theme that is spoke about in this book. I just think it was just going round in circles and I just didn't really care for any of the drama that was trying to be created in this one. I have always said that I prefer Daisy Hates to Magnolia Parks, but I just think this book really did it for me. And even to the point where Daisy in this wasn't seeming like herself, and I actually went on to read a few reviews on Goodreads about it just to see whether it got any better, and people were saying that Jessa Hastings had villainised Daisy because she realised more people were rooting for Daisy, and I just think no, just didn't care. And I thought the whole point of this video is for me to get back into the series that I love, to see whether this is going to beat the book Slump. And I just think if I'm dreading reading a book, I don't need to put myself through that. And I think I gave it a fair go. Like 280 pages into a average 350 page book, you'd nearly be done with it. Whereas this, I think there's still something like 500 pages left, and I just thought it's not worth it. And actually I think that was the best choice I could have made, because I went on to start Hopeless by Elsie Silver. This is the 5th book in the Chestnut Spring series, and I always was saving it. I was always saving this book because I thought it's the last one in this little group. I think I gave 3 out of the 4 books 5 stars. Like, I know that my favourite was with Winter and Theo. I think that was called Reckless. But I also loved the second one, Heartless, I loved. But I also loved the 3rd one. Basically, the first one was 4 stars and then the rest of them were 5 stars. But I've started this one and I am already, I feel like I've whizzed to page 111. 111. I'm loving it. Like, I genuinely am so excited to pick this up. And whilst I was out today and at my class, I just thought, I cannot wait to go home and read that book. And I'm just so immersed back into this world, and it's making me excited to read again. And so I'm very happy that I have DNF'd Magnolia Parks when it just didn't feel right. I just was like, I'm not happy reading this, so why would I do that? But I don't know. I don't think I would ever go back into Magnolia Parks books, but if Daisy Hates gets more books, or if... Is there going to be a book for like Henry, Jonah and Tara? If there's going to be a book for those, I'd also try that, because I do like Jessa Hastings' writing, but that one just wasn't hitting for me. But I am really enjoying this. It is about Beau and Bailey, and I've just really liked how it starts. I mean, obviously you've got like the big macho man, but it's just kind of your typical romance book, and I think that's kind of what I need. I need it to be predictable. I need to know the characters, know this. Is it a world if it's not fantasy? I need to know this scene, settings, location, I don't know. But I'm really, really enjoying it, and I actually do think I will fly through this. Also, this is a... Oh, what am I looking for? Like, they pretend to be fiancés, and I love that trope because we all know what's going to happen within this agreement. So I just wanted to give the reading update that I have put down Magnolia Parks, and I'm currently reading Hopeless by Elsie Silver, and very much enjoying myself. And her writing is just so easy, so digestible, so readable. Great, great book to get me out of this slump. Like, I genuinely feel like I'm whizzing through this. I feel like I film all of my reading vlog clips in the same place. We're gonna drive from here right now, but last night I got to page 219. Like, I was whizzing through to the point where I fell asleep, and the book is now all folded because I fell asleep on the book. But I now don't know how I feel about this. Basically, the baseline thought at the moment is I don't know whether I'm enjoying this book or whether I'm enjoying the fact that I'm enjoying a book, because I really was not enjoying myself reading Maggie Parks. So now that this one is entertaining me, I'm like, oh my god, we're whizzing through this. But whether I actually like the content of this book specifically, I feel like the characters are kind of falling flat for me. Like, they don't really mean anything to me. Definitely not in comparison to the other people in this series. Like, they were very important to me. I don't really know whether I'm just rambling now, but I just don't think this story is going to stick with me, and I think I'm just excited that I am enjoying the process of reading rather than this specific book. And don't get me wrong, I'm enjoying the story, but I think it's very cliche, and I think whilst kind of I needed something predictable and that I didn't need to really concentrate on, and I just needed to get into the process of reading more often, so whilst this is exactly what I needed, I don't know whether I'm liking it. No, I don't know whether I am loving it, this book. Like, I think it will get an average rating. I think to be honest, I'm just gonna tonight binge the end of it. That's what I want to do, because I don't really think I needed this. I think this was a good palette cleanser right before I get into some of my books I'm gonna love. But yeah, that's my thoughts with this. I just feel like the scenes aren't really meaning anything to me, and if anything, I'm not skim reading, but I'm reading very quickly, which usually means I'm not enjoying it as much because I'm not trying to soak it up. That's what I'm trying to say. That is what my long ramble is about. So yeah, I'm gonna try and finish the rest of this evening. If I don't, there's no pressure. That is the main thing. Is like, I've just started telling myself, you need to be reading this much, you need to be reading however many books a month. No, I don't. I really do not. So I'm gonna binge this, and I will just let you know my thoughts at the end of the book. I think I did it. I finished Hopeless by Elsie Silver last night. I just tucked up in bed and binged the last however many pages there were. I'm not too sure, but I think this wrap up of this reading vlog will pretty much say the same thing as what I said in the last clip, so I'm not going to try to repeat myself. But I do think I genuinely was just more thrilled that I was enjoying a book rather than enjoying this book specifically, because to be honest, like, the characters, they felt quite two-dimensional to me, and it felt like a lot of the issues they were facing were more so like, I knew I was reading the plot of a book. It was like, oh, they've done this for the plot, rather than feeling like genuine issues that people go through. And I think that was like the whole thing with like her and her brothers and the name around town, that kind of thing. We started off on a bad foot anyway. I'm glad that I finished the whole Chestnut Spring series. I'm still happy to continue with the, I do not know what it's called, but it's like the Wild Love series. I've got a few of those, and I've got her first series, which I think starts with the one Off to the Races. I have that whole series to read as well. I'm happy to read those. It's nothing to do with Elsie Silver herself. I say that if I find I'm having problems with the other ones, the other series, then I will just get rid of those books, because I'm not in a place where I want to be reading anything that I'm not enjoying. So yeah, I'm very glad I read this. I think I'd give it a 3-star. Like, I'd recommend it to people if they wanted just like your typical cliche cringy romance cowboy version. But it's not a favourite for me, and it's definitely not a favourite within this series. And I, to be honest, think it might be my least favourite in this series, and that's not to say it was bad. I just think, I was thinking last night, it's been nearly 2.5 years since I read the first 4 books in this series, so obviously my reading taste will have changed. But yes, so I am very glad to be saying goodbye to this reading vlog, because I think Magnolia Parks was pushing me over the edge. But what I can say is the point of this reading vlog was to get back into series I'd already read, to try beat this slump, and I genuinely think I have beaten this slump now. Like, I am excited to read again. I was at work all day today, and I was just thinking about getting home and reading a book, starting a new book. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I will speak to you very, very soon.